Hi, I'm Yana, nature-inspired dark fantasy artist and illustrator. In this video, I'll show you my process for the last piece in a series of artworks inspired by the twisted beauty of trees that I call dryads. I'll also be talking about why I had to keep this project a secret for the 3 years I was working on it. Today I'm going to start the last piece in a series I've been working on for 3 years now, just like a personal series, working on off and on it. Okay, let's just go back to the beginning. So 3 years ago I started working on a series of personal artworks that I'm calling dryads because they're based on reference photos I've taken of trees. Because if you know me, you know that I also do enjoy nature photography and I love photographing trees. I love taking photos of trees. They're just so beautiful, like the shapes, the textures, just trees. What else can I say? They're amazing, they're beautiful, and when you look at them you can find all sorts of shapes and creatures in there, just the same way you would look at clouds and find different subjects in there and find different figures in there. And I've just started creating drawings and paintings based on my reference photos. And yeah, I've been working on this series quietly, secretly, and I haven't really shown any of them to anybody really. Some of my friends have seen a photo here and there, or you know, if I've had artwork lying around in my flat, somebody might have seen it, but really I've mostly keeping it quiet because it's not in my usual style and it's just for me because I enjoy it. And I've realized for myself that if I post artwork online too early, especially if it's not what people expect of me and it's kind of slightly different, it doesn't do well with the algorithm because people like what they expect. People like me for a certain kind of artwork and certain style of illustration, so if I post something else, it's not gonna go over well, even if it's cool, even if it's something beautiful. So I just keep stuff to myself if it's different, because I don't want to be influenced by how it's received. Because if I do something for myself because I enjoy it, I want that to be my main motivation, and I don't want that to be tarnished by it not being received well or not getting a whole lot of feedback at all, because it's going to influence me. You know, I know there are artists who are like, oh, social media, I don't care about that, you know, likes, who cares about that? And I would be lying if I pretended that I was like that. It definitely does something to me, seeing how well my art does or not. And by now I know there are pieces where I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna be liked by people, even if I don't like it all that much. And there are pieces where I'm like, this is probably not going to be that great for my audience. So I've kept quiet on this series, but I'm also at a point where I want to start new projects, and I don't want to keep on working on this for forever. I want to be able to wrap it up before moving on to something new and something big. I meant to finish it last year, I meant to finish it this year, and for some reason, because it's meant as a series of original pieces, my idea was that I might pitch it to a reasonably local gallery, but turns out the gallery has closed by now, so that's not going to happen. But I've always thought of it as a series that would hang on walls, right? So I wanted to have a mixture of large pieces, small pieces, you know, smaller affordable pieces, large expensive pieces nobody's gonna buy anyways, but that are going to be really cool. And so I've been kind of thinking along those lines, working on it, and whenever I was reviewing the artworks I already had, I would be like, oh, I need more small pieces, oh, I need some more mid-sized pieces, oh, I want to do more painting, oh, I want to do more of the drawings. And I always moved the goalpost, and I realized lately that the reason I was moving it wasn't because I needed there to be more small pieces or I needed there to be more mid-sized pieces, but because I was procrastinating working on this piece, which is a concept based on a photograph that it's kind of the reason I started this. It was one of the very first ideas I had, one of the very first compositions I came up with for this series, and I always wanted it to be big. I always wanted it to be a really big piece, really intricate, lots of detail. You know, this is just A2, it's an A2 format, so it's actually not that huge for me. I used to work in this format more often, so it's actually fine. It's an okay size for me. But if I'm doing a detailed drawing, it's still going to take hours and hours and hours of work, which I don't mind. I'm really excited about this, but it's also intimidating. And I was always looking forward to working on this piece, so it's kind of funny to me that I was clearly just procrastinating. That I was always like, oh, I have to do these other pieces first. I'm leaving the big one for last, or oh, I have to do some more big pieces because I can't just have this one big one. And I was really just making things difficult for myself, and now I've just decided I'm gonna sit down and I'm going to work on this piece, which is the only piece I really still want to do for this series. Like, this series is not going to be finished unless I work on this piece. And every other artwork that I could be doing, it doesn't matter. It would be a filler, you know, it would be fine, it would be beautiful, whatever. But the one I really want to do is this one. And if I finish this one, I can you know, conclude this series. I can call it done. And then, you know, because I can't put it to the gallery anymore, at least not the one I'm meant to do it for. And it's not that many artworks, so it's not enough for a book, so I'm probably going to turn it into a zine when I'm done, and it's going to have the drawings and it's going to have the photographs and maybe some more photographs because I have a lot of tree photos. And yeah, it's I think it's going to be nice, and I'll be selling the originals, of course, but not this year because I can't ship to the US right now. So I'm going to wait and see how the whole customs situation plays out, and that also gives me more time to prepare the zine and get everything printed, and then I'll hopefully have something to hold in my hands and something to show you guys. Next year I'll start posting about it this winter, I think, about this project overall. I still need to digitize all the artworks, and I also have to consider whether I want to prepare them in a way that would make them viable options for book covers style-wise, or if I just want to keep it to this is my series of original drawings and that's that. Yeah, but this is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to start working on this final piece for this series, and it's a little bit scary because I always felt it has to be so good. It's the last one, it's the biggest one, it has to be great. But it's also exciting because it is the final piece, and I have been looking forward to drawing this for so long now. It's actually a yew tree that I photographed in a park in Malmö, Sweden, I think. So that's years and years and years back. And I always thought, because the branches was really straight and going into all directions, and I always thought it kind of looked like a signpost, and I always wanted to, I have to see if I can actually find the original sketch that I made, because that is years back. I don't know in what sketchbook they're in, but it was also like hands showing into all directions. And actually, I think it had glowy eyes, because that was the time when I was still giving every creature glowy eyes, and I might bring that back for this. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm just talking to procrastinate. Okay, I'm just procrastinating hard on this one. Yeah, let's do this. I'll try to film the process. I'll try. The entire piece doesn't actually fit into the camera frame, so I'll have to do it in details. And I mean, that's how I'll be working as well. It's funny, I don't work on these pieces the same way I'm usually working on my artworks, because I usually rough in everything and then I get more detailed. And with these, it's more like I start in one place and then I'll just detail my way through them, because I work so closely with the references. Yeah, still talking to procrastinate. Yeah, let's see how things are going. The drawing is essentially done now. I'm just checking that it looks good from far away as well, because due to its size, I am only seeing a slightly distorted view of it. I'm generally quite happy with how the artwork looks at this stage, and I'm just adding some very minor finishing touches. Here you can see me trying to figure out how to do this artwork reveal thing, and then we'll dive into some close-ups. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If Dryads rings a little bit of a bell for you, that might be because I've done a previous video that was more of a little craft project inspired by tree bark. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check it out. At the end you can see me with a truly awful hairstyle. At least for me. Anyhow, I still have a bunch of work ahead of me, but I can't wait to share more of my Dryads with you later this year, and let's see what the future holds. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.